Righto, let's talk about the current season. We're 4 weeks in, and here's how the standings are. Let's look at the NFC West, okay? Eagles, 4-0. You can't complain against someone who's 4-0. However, they seem to have a lot of attention around how they're winning. Sometimes it's boring, sometimes it's ugly. Doesn't matter. They're winning, and they've beaten good teams. Washington, 2-2. They've had injuries to the quarterback, so, that's tough. They're still hanging in there. Dallas, surprising draw there against Green Bay. Everyone thought they were going to get pumped. 1-2 on the season. The Giants just had their first win because they put Jackson Dart in. That's a good positive sign. They got Scatterboo, the Scat Man, who's awesome to watch. They may win some more games and they may make a bit more noise than was thought about before the season. Okay, now let's go to the NFC South. We've got Tampa Bay. The first 3 weeks of the season, Baker Mayfield led a fourth quarter comeback to win the game. Unbelievable. So fun to watch. Last week, they stumbled, had a shitty loss. That's going to happen, but they're going to be a good team through the whole season. Watch them to make some noise when it comes to the playoffs. They should run away with this division, by the way. Atlanta, 2-2. Michael Penix looks good. Drake London, Bijan Robinson. They've got some really good young players. They'll get more and more wins too, and they'll be a competitive team. Carolina, average, 1-3. Saints, 0-4. Yuck. Righto, next part is the NFC North. So we've got Detroit. They looked poor in week 1, but since then have been on a winning streak and look back to the Detroit we know from the last couple of years. Still feels weird to say Detroit's good, but anyway. Green Bay, 2-1-1. Surprising. Everyone thinks that they were Super Bowl contenders at the start of the year after they got Micah Parsons. They think Jordan Love could be MVP, but then he still has these mistakes that cost him games. Really just like bad decisions. They've been described as immature from a quarterback. So they'll be very good, but it's going to be hard to predict where they're going to end up at the end of the year. Minnesota, they lost JJ McCarthy. That's a tough one to come back from. So when he gets back, they'll be more consistent. Their defense is awesome. Chicago, who the fuck knows? We've got Caleb Williams, we've got a new Ben Johnson in the coach. So a lot of talent there, but that division is just crazy and weird to me. So we'll see how they end up. And finally, the NFC West, which has been described now as probably the best division in football. It's very good. San Francisco 3-1, Seattle 3-1, LA 3-1, and Arizona 2-2. A lot of the losses within this division have come from within the division. That's showing how good it is. Now, San Francisco on top. They beat Seattle week 1 because of 2 plays, which still kills me to this day as a Seahawks fan. Seattle had a crappy week 1, crappy loss to San Francisco, but since then have become one of the most consistent teams in all phases of the ball. They are in the top 5, I think, in all categories, offense, defense, and special teams. LA Rams, everyone is scared of the Rams because of Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Sean McVay. Very good team. They'll be right there in the playoff picture later on in the year too. And then Arizona, mixed bag. They don't look as good as they should be, but I think they'll come good by the end of the season. Okay, time to go over to the AFC. So we've got the AFC East. The Buffalo Bills are running away with this. No one is going to catch them. They may lock up this division very early in the season. New England, however, very underrated. Drake May is not being spoken about. He's one of the best young rookie quarterbacks out there. He's looking very good. Mike Vrabel has got the team playing well as a whole. Watch out for New England by the end of the year. Miami has been a train wreck. They just lost Tyreek Hill, which sucks. He's such an exciting player. The only light they've got is David Achane. And then you've got the Jets, who are 0-4. And I feel like every year that's how the Jets are spoken about. Righto, NFC South. Okay, 3-1 Indianapolis Colts. No one would have predicted that before the season, especially getting Danny Dimes from New York because he looks so crappy over there. He's come over to Indianapolis. All of a sudden he can play quarterback. They had one rough loss, but they've been looking really good. Jacksonville is surprising, sneaky. No one's talking about Jacksonville 3-1. They're doing really well. They're running the ball like no one's business. Houston, more surprising that they're 1-3. They've got such a talented roster, but they've been doing pretty badly. Last week, they absolutely smashed the Panthers, I think it was. And then Tennessee, 0-4. It's looking rough there. Their rookie quarterback is such a talented quarterback, Cam Ward. They're already talking about whether he's being wasted in Tennessee. It might be a little bit early in my opinion, but they're struggling. AFC North, and of course, Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers are on top. Everyone wrote Aaron Rodgers off. Everyone said this was a mistake to sign him, and all of a sudden they lead the division after 4 weeks. Can they carry it on? It looks like it. Their defense is back to what it should be. The first couple of weeks was real rough, but any Mike Tomlin team is someone you can bet on. Cincinnati, they lost Joe Burrow to probably December, which is catastrophic for their season. They had a win with Jake Browning, their backup. Then they lost this week, so they're 2-2. So they're not mathematically out, but my God, they need some help quick. Baltimore is probably one of the biggest surprises in the league, 1-3. They lost last week to the Chiefs in a pretty embarrassing game for them. Their defense is woeful. People are just doing whatever they want to them, which is causing a lot of problems, especially when you've got Lamar Jackson and they were one of the Super Bowl favorites going into the year. Cleveland 1-3. They just made a quarterback change. Hopefully that gives them a spark. They did have a good win over Green Bay. And finally, we go to the AFC West. So, one of the most surprising and best teams in the league this year has been the LA Chargers. They won 3 division games in a row. Then they lost last week to the Giants and the rookie Jackson Dart, which is a bit surprising and has people doubting them, but they're a very good team. Jim Harbaugh wins everywhere he goes. He's an exceptional coach. They will be fine. Kansas City, everyone wrote them off. Oh, the dynasty's over, they're dead. And then, of course, Pat Mahomes goes out last week and beats the Ravens and gets everyone to shut up again. And now they're like, oh, they're back. I told you they're back. It's so funny watching the talking heads. Anyway, Denver, sneaky good team, 2-2. Unfortunately, they ran into the Chargers. They've had a couple of bad losses, but they're a very good team and they'll be something to think about by the end of the year. Las Vegas, hard to tell. Pete Carroll always coaches good teams. They will get better as the year goes on, but it's hard to tell where they're going to end up because that's another very good division.